I've been in the Roblox train community for 7 years now, and today's the day where I'll be finally ranking every Roblox train game, and I will inevitably disappoint a lot of people. Inside this hat are 24 strips of paper, and altogether ranking 24 current games that I know of that are still active and prominent to this day. All these games have a primary aim to driving a train. So games like Itty Bitty Railway and Steam and Steel are not included. And if I fail to mention one game, please don't let me know down in the comments. I will definitely not do this again. Right, starting off with our first one, Dovetail Railway. Dovetail Railway is quite of a cute game. It has a smaller scale format. Unlike other games, they stick to a traditional signaling system. It's got a bunch of levers and you can just pull them in the game, and it's so complex. I have a friend who loves playing this game.
This guy was playing Dovetail for an hour straight doing signaling. I think that's one of the most depressing things you can do. That thing is so convoluted, I don't get it.
It leads to a lot of signaler sweats like him, but it also causes inexperienced signalers playing this. And according to him, track circuits tend to break sometimes, so it results in refreshing them every single time, which can be a bit annoying. In terms of the driving experience, the scenery is very good. The map is pretty small, however, so you don't have much anywhere else to go. And the trains are alright, but I would argue that the Class 465 sounds do not sound like the Class 465. And since I'm a tester in the game, I can murder people. So we're starting this list in a very complimenting B tier game. Finnish Railway. Now, when I first joined this game, I instantly changed nationality. I became a Finnish man with a stone up my ass from the sauna. The game itself is not even made in Roblox Studio. It's made in MS Paint. You can see the hand-drawn pixel drawings everywhere when you first join. And the scenery is also made in MS Paint. However, there is one exception, and that is the trains. The trains don't reflect what are the actual aesthetics of the game. 99% of the detail comes to the model. You can interact with the doors. There's a lot of things to see when you're inside the train. It's incomparable. This game is very fun. And the names are so too, like Korkia Aho, Halpasalmi, Almarantamaki, Lippi, Pilava, Jarleva, Kortespoja, and Perkele. And when you combine the detailed models and the decal spam along the scenery, you get a game that is pretty bad in terms of performance. You can't even survive a public server. It's so laggy, you can't break from it. So when you play Finnish Railway, buy a private server. The performance is still ass anyway. But you know what? It's so funny, it's not even that bad. And the best part is that you can detach carriages of the train and block the whole railway system. Play now. C tier. Trainways. Now we're gonna go to Australia on this one, and that means double-decker trains. The trains are impressively made, but it's very well satisfactory. There are both passengers and freight services. Some areas of the scenery are quite ugly, and some stations, especially the underground ones, they're quite ugly too. Liverpool Street Station looks kinda cute though. There's graffiti in the trains, which feels hip and authentic, especially that the game is set in 2005. Some of the station names are funny. I mean, I haven't been to this place, but I would really love to go. The announcement system is kinda meh. It only plays an audio file and doesn't even call the stations. And one major big flaw, there are no signals in the game until next week. They're prepping up a large update of the game, and I've heard it's coming out in like the 10th of December. So with the upcoming update, this might be a B or even an A, but I think just like the previous one, it's going into C tier. Streamlined. Now Streamlined is a Dutch game set in the 1950s, and you can definitely tell with the scenery. And they're spinning windmills. You're first doing cargo journeys, passenger journeys, and then later get to drive large, sick locomotives. There's a whole job market for this. Like, you can grind as much money and XP as you want. And there's even like YouTube videos that tell you what jobs specifically give you the most money in XP. You can grind a lot here. Steam trains are typically looked highly upon, but I think in the Roblox scene, we don't have enough popular and well-developed train games, with the exception of Steam and Steel, that have steam trains as good as this. Not a single inch of scenery is empty, so the experience is pretty fulfilling. And there's also shunters in this game, so you can just go back and forth attaching and detaching wagon. There's one noticeable flaw in this game, which is there are no interiors in the trains, but I don't care when the whole exterior experience is very fulfilling. And I think that this game deserves an A. Trainware. Now, Trainware. Oh boy. This game was hyped up as one of the most realistic train games on Roblox, if not any game in Roblox. But when you play this game, it is way too simplistic. I don't feel like a train driver. I feel like a test subject, especially when the stationees are called Test Lab A and Test Lab B. And it feels very uncanny when you play the game, or at least watching the game. I've never played the game though. I haven't given them 99 Robux. And they promise new developments, but nothing is happening because the original creator has a job. Only unemployed people get to develop train games. E. Oh boy. Now this is if Trainware actually fulfilled their promises. American trains usually suck, but when you play this game, it is not. It covers all the good parts of the American train system. It's so unique and it's put in the most idyllic and authentic way possible. Everything you see is done with purpose, down to the minute details. Imagine what this game would look like with shaders on. It would look crazy. There's realistic sounds, it's not overcomplicated, user-friendly interface, and the passenger experience is great too. You can buy tickets and do normal passenger activities in this game. And the best part of the passenger experience, you can get hit by a train and ragdoll. People say it's too expensive, but trust me, it is worth to buy the game. There are no game passes involved afterwards, and you get the whole experience. I think I'm glazing too hard on this. That game deserves to be in S. Okay, White Coast City Railway. Now, White Coast City Railway gives a London Northwestern Railway aesthetic, and the last time I played it, it was broken.
Pengtastic derailment company.
Oh!
Oh my god!
What?
But now it's fixed. I like the train models, it's not outstandingly up to detail, and a lot of the elements are SCR inspired, which kind of does make the game a little more forgettable than others. I think the game kind of gives an uncanny vibe in terms of the map. It's not very iconic and just feels a bit unrealistic. But again, it's quite an inoffensive game. You just drive as you go. It's very average. White Coast City Railway, let's see. Terminal Railways. Now this was the OG. The game is very arcade-like. You can pick trains from multiple countries, which is great for people who are culturally experimental. You can make your route as you go, which you can explore with it for hours. It does lack realism, but who cared in 2018? We only cared about derailing trains and putting them at high speeds. They were very fun to experiment with. It is a large map, and it's still entertaining to drive once in a while. You know, the next time you play the train game, you notice a bit of the area has changed, and you go like, whoa, this looks new. And you even get to explore an extension of the game you haven't played, like especially with Roz on the airport. I didn't know there was an airport. It was an S tier in previous standards, but for now it's still kind of relevant with a drive of nostalgia carrying the whole game. So I think in today's standards, that is going into B tier. Row Scale Railway. Now, unlike all other games I've mentioned, this game is the odd one out because you technically don't drive trains, you control trains. You're the big brother in 1984. So these are not trains, they're model trains. And there's a feature where you can actually have the camera follow the train. I did struggle to activate that while it's in motion, so that's a little L. And since everything is small, there are no interiors of the trains or impressive graphics. A plus side though, it has a very large map with many operators and trains to choose from, without the sacrifice of losing so much performance. It says it's been inspired by certain train games like Suffolk County Railway, and I can tell it has with the Airport Central and the Airport Parkway pre-version 1.10. And there's Tramlink too. However, since it's a rail scale game, it misses a lot of things that normal trains have. And for a rail scale game, it's going to be into a B. I'm going deep on this one. Trackside Railways. I recently randomly discovered this game and I resonated with it a lot more because it replicates my previous local train operator, which is Southwestern Railway. and it's so cool. When you play the game, you do require a lot of patience, especially when leaving the depot. You drive very slowly, and there's sometimes queues in the game. For now, the map is quite small. It's got only just one linear branch, with the exception to Hampton Court. But the best thing is, this is a one-to-one recreation of the Southwestern Railway network. It's only a small portion at the moment, but out of all the games, this feels very, very realistic. But why on earth does it have a 68% like to dislike ratio? It's got great trains, it's got good recreation of the stations, it feels realistic in a way, the timings feel realistic, everything is fine, even the schedules are fine, and while playing the game, I had no major issue. It's still in development, so it's growing as time goes by, but for now, it's going to A tier. But if this development continues, it might as well make it up to S. Trackside Railway Development Team, if you're watching this, please continue. I love the game. DJMN lines. I feel guilty when I play DGMN lines. Why, you may ask? Is because you technically have to be good at the game. When you approach a station, you have to pinpoint your stop very closely to the marker. Otherwise, you're not going to get an accurate stop indicator on your train and you won't be able to open the doors. You will have to reverse your train if you overshot. And for that is already a reason why I dislike this game. It's my issue though, not theirs. The 1986 stock isn't that impressive, like there's presence of decals, a lack of meshes, and generic Roblox fonts are seen on a display. The train functionality is great though. You configure it like you do in real life. However, they forgot that the underground needed some love too. When most of your game is underground, you don't have much potential to surprise people with the scenery. I get it, but this looks like the inside of my 2013 IKEA wardrobe. When you want to make a good underground game, take examples from Central's Victoria line. I don't care that they're still in development. I'd rather have no announcements than having Applesville recreated. And it reminds you, they got in trouble with TfL for using their branding without a license. And speaking of which, the game has had bad reputation history. At least Applesville isn't in charge anymore, but the base of the game looked exactly the same comparing to 4 years ago when Applesville was in charge. I've been aware of this game for those 4 years, and I don't like how the game has been progressed. But I'm quite optimistic about the dev team. They've been working on some stuff, as I know, and the stations are very well recreated. In fact, I highly compliment it. It's the biggest strength of the game. Objectively speaking, I think it's unfair to put this game in F tier because of how I spiritually feel about DGMN lines. So therefore, I'm gonna put it in its own tier. I don't think it belongs in any of these tiers except its own. Oh, there's like free. Rails Unlimited. Now this game is just the worst version of Terminal Railways. It has a wide selection of trains, but it's all very simplistic, and you can explore the entire map in just like 20 minutes. It gets boring very quickly. I don't have much else to say. E tier. Oh damn, British Railway. Now when I compare this game, I compare it a lot with SCR because, you know, that's how it goes. It's just usually seen as SCR's main competitor. But I would argue that it has different focuses, which I'll talk about later when we get to SCR. In comparison, the models are better, it has more attention to detail, it's pretty realistic, the sounds are top notch. There's some cool complementary stuff like the nose cone and the rain physics on the windshield. The map and scenery is very good, but it isn't as iconic. It doesn't feel too contrasting when you travel through the whole network, and there's not much you can do once you unlock everything. At least they have pantographs though. I think this game deserves a very solid A tier. Oh great! Now I can actually compare those two. Suffolk County Railway focuses on a more arcade style of the game. The game is iconic, it's been around for many years, with icons even taking part of the game, especially with the announcements. It has a large network of 5 operators, Connect, Waterline, Airlink, Express, and Metro. And there's countless of stations that I don't even remember off the top of my head how many there are. And I would argue that it's too big. They've just been milking expansions recently, just for an active fan base. As soon as Metro came out, it's been taking over pretty much everything. And plus, it's even replacing Tramlink. It has a large active fan base, although some parts of the community are unfavorable. I mean, have you seen SCR Discord's general don't go there. And some features of the game are kind of out of touch with what's today's standards, especially the pantograph. Where are the pantographs? I need to know. I mean, people are saying it might be on version 2.3, but have you seen the trailer? There were no pantographs. And the development team has had some questionable history. It's been inevitable in drama. You can't avoid it, especially with the game passes. So the main question is SCR better than British Railway? And the answer to that question is no. In fact, neither of them are better than each other. They both level up in the exact same tier. A tier. Now we got that question out of the way, let's look on to what's next. Project Countryside Railways. Now, this game is very Polish. When I first joined the game, I had so many questions. Like, why does the horn sound like that? Why do people explode in this game? And the more important question is, why do I feel so Polish? The trains scream Polish, the scenery scream Polish. Heck, you can drive your very own Polonez in this game. I feel so Polish. Polska górą. The trains are nicely detailed. You can attach your own wagons of your choice manually, and it's a pretty fair experience when driving it. But I got easily lost in the game. I somehow managed to accidentally go back into the depot. And because of that, you have to be familiar with the map to navigate, even though apparently it's just one stripe of rail. It doesn't matter though, that's part of the Polish experience. I had fun while playing this game. It's a B tier. Train Sim. Now this train game is meant to be the European version of Rail Sim Universe. They have multiple of countries that you can drive through. The UK and France, Poland, Czechia, you name it. And for some reason, this game has a radio to listen to. The music selection though is literally just NCS. The UI was very nice to look at despite being inspired from Trainware. And there's a good selection of maps and trains. You can be a passenger or a cargo train. And cargo has contracts on what loads you want to deliver. Kind of similar to Euro Truck Simulator 2. However, it does lack detail in the interior and models, and it's quite confusing on where my actual destination is. Like, bro, I forgot where I'm going. Remind me where I'm going. And when it comes to rain, why is it raining inside my train? This game is a definition of quantity over quality, and that's not a good thing. So therefore, I think it's gonna go into C tier. Metro Transport. Now you may be wondering, what the hell is Metro Transport? Well, this game is a recreation of the Athens Metro network. The UI is made in MS Paint, it is SCR inspired, and the scenery is simplistic, with only one street going along the train surrounded by generic buildings. The recreation of the stations are not that amazing, it is quite simplistic in some way, and everything is very simple. It's also quite bland. The passenger mode kinda annoys me, like you can't jump in the game and running feels like a placebo effect. It states that you're running, but are you really running? I mean, this game gets you into a philosophical mindset, if you know what I mean. The Metro announcements are authentic for both stations and trains. I like it, but you could ignore what I said about the tunnels and DGMN lines. This is actually a 2013 IKEA wardrobe. When I did play the game and hopped onto a train, I did get kicked out mid-journey though, which was not great, but that's the Greek experience, I guess. And you can buy tickets in the game, but I think that's quite unrealistic because you could always just fare evade. So that's a bit pointless. D tier. Grand Continental Railways. Back in my day, that was the original competitor to SCR. It used to be quite inactive, but recently they came back with some development, so it's on the list. As a free roam system, you can make the destination as you go. It's not allocated a route for you, which lacks realism and certainty, especially when you play the game for the first time. And that leads to a lack of map navigation. You have to be familiar with yourself and the whole game. You could just waste a lot of time just exploring through the whole map, especially that the map is very large. Most trains are not impressively made, but some recent ones are meshed, so it's quite of a mixed bag. I think the whole experience is very average. I think it's gonna go in C. I've only got 2 more pieces of paper here for some reason. Well, the next one is Train Simulator Roblox. What the f is Train Simulator Roblox? Well, I got some things to tell you. It is French, and therefore, it's quite mid. You get flinging trains, you get naked people, it was just me, you get clueless drivers, an undeveloped map, and it's buggy. But the thing that's carrying the game is realistic train mechanisms and operations when driving the train. but it's French. So that's gonna be C for croissant. I only got 4 games on the list though. The only thing I have is 1 strand of paper. Oh, I wonder why. So this is a bonus. 4 and 1. So the first thing is trains. Now when I joined trains, I got confused in this junction, wherever it was a station I was meant to stop at, but it was just an underpass that I had to go through. And the worst part is, the train system had a delay of 5 seconds to actually control the throttle and even open the doors. It was a horrible experience. I am never gonna play this game again. Trains, F. Now Trains Express is definitely better than Trains. Now the whole Train franchise has a philosophy of minimalism. That's the whole art of the game, and nothing should be impressively good. And this style works best when it comes to fast trains. And I really like the minimalism. There's no large ick, and it's cute. I did experience that if you don't check the signals, nothing will stop you. So be sure you don't collide to any train. You will drive fast, therefore you will crash fast. If you just want a game that is not made to impress you, but instead simply satisfy you with simple train elements, that is the game. Train Express, C tier. Nope, that's C tier. Trains Canyon is also a trains game. Now the word canyon, right? It connotes the United States of America. However, I think even in minimalist standards, this is still Europeanized. Sure, it has low-level platforms, American trains, and huge road crossings, but no, this could be anywhere on the planet. I still struggled with their legacy throttle system, but it's definitely better now. Trains Canyon, a D. And the final game that is on my list, and the final game that's on the Trains franchise, is Trains Island. When I first joined, I realized you can plane spot here. There are planes just coming towards the airport and landing there. And I think that's quite cool. The scenery looks much more unique and has a better vibe to it. It's more busy and scenic, and you can see a lot in your journey. And there are more route variations you can take. So I think out of all the games, you can waste your time the most in this one and the most fun to experience it. So we're gonna end up with a high note of a B. And that is the whole train game tier list in Roblox. And this is just my opinion, so please don't take full offense to it. I don't want to get canceled for the 67th time. You can do whatever you want with this information, but just don't cancel me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.